What's going on, brothers? How are you all doing? How have you been? I hope you're all doing well. G the Genius back at it again with another video. I thank you so much for your support thus far. It really means a lot. In the Bible, in Matthew chapter 18 verse 3, it says, "Assuredly I say unto you, unless you are converted and become as little children, you will by no means enter the kingdom of heaven." These are the very words of Jesus Christ. And this leads into the topic I want to talk about today, which is, while on semen retention, the longer you hold on and the more you embrace this journey and the more you walk in obedience to God, that sense of childhood wonder returns. You start to feel like a child, and it's truly a blissful feeling. When I first started this journey, especially this street that I'm on right now, I was just sick and tired of just being a slave, to releasing my energy and being a slave to chasing cheap dopamine thrills. And I had no enjoyment, I had no peace, I had no comfort in my life. I was constantly on edge, and I felt restless and irritated all the time. But once I learned how to keep my sexual energy under control, once I learned how to respect myself, respect this energy, and to hold on to my seed, I realized that I received so much more clarity and peace in my heart, in my mind, in my soul, and in my spirit. And I realized that my sense of childlike wonder was returning. The things that I was numb to before, I just realized I became a lot more sensitive once again. Do you remember when you were a child, or a young boy, and you thought that everything around you is just wonderful, right? Like, the world is so huge, you feel like there's nothing that you cannot accomplish. Everything is so exciting, everything is so vibrant. Like, the world is your oyster when you're a child. Because when you're a child, you're always exploring, always learning, soaking things up like a sponge. The world is amazing and exciting. Everything around you just, grabs your attention. It's truly an amazing feeling. And a lot of times I reminisce about when I was a child and, how imaginative my mind used to be. The things I would think about, the creations and the world, and it was just amazing, And as a child, you feel limitless. You have so much energy, so much vitality, so much youthfulness, so much abundance, and you're operating in a pure state of innocence, bliss, and purity. Then as we grow up, unfortunately, we become poisoned by the negativities of society. That's when depression sinks in, anxiety sinks in, self-esteem issues start to creep in. And then as we, embark into adolescence, when puberty hits, and then our sexual organs become stimulated, we start to think a lot more about sex and all of these other things, which is completely normal. But because the majority of us didn't learn how to approach these things in a positive way, we sought these things out, yet they were destroying us. You know, when we find out about the things that cause us to be lustful, when we don't have that under control at such a young age, it will destroy us. It causes us to act out in destructive manners, especially when we're learning about ourselves, growing up, when we don't have role models to teach us about our bodies and how to respect ourselves and how to respect the opposite gender. We don't know how to actually harness this energy, this abundance of sexual energy and testosterone that rages through us as we enter adolescence and puberty. Hence, when our sexual energy becomes a lot more heightened, we don't know how to control it. And that's where lust creeps in. That's where, watching the website start to creep in. That's where unhealthy habits like masturbation become to creep in as well. We become so much more corrupted by society as we grow out of childhood. And we think this is normal, even though it's not. It's completely abnormal behavior that has been normalized by society. And that's why we become dependent on vices. We become dependent on our addictions to escape our realities, to escape the trauma that we haven't healed from, to escape the life and the beauty that is around us. We become so trapped in darkness, we forget who we are. We forget who we are and who we were as children. The dreams we had, the aspirations we had, the goals we had. As children, we were so bright, full of life, innocent, blissful. And then as we grow, we start to become a lot more jaded, a lot more cynical about life. We start to lose our dreams, our hopes, and we lose sight of ourselves. But God wants us to be pure. He wants us to be holy. He wants us to be sanctified in our bodies, in our thoughts, in our spirits, and in our souls. So I say all that to say this, that the longer you embrace walking this path of purity, walking this path of semen retention, holding onto your seed, holding onto your energy, and harnessing it, transmuting it, you will become like a child once again, pure in thought, pure in heart, pure in deed. Because as you hold on to your energy, it is purifying you. It's recalibrating you back to the man you were supposed to be. It's like factory settings on a phone. Once you've reset a phone to factory settings, it's a blank slate once again. It goes back to the way it was before it became inundated with so many different apps and various applications. That's the same thing that doing semen retention and holding onto our energy is doing for us. We are being purified once again. We become like children once again because we are not filled with lust. We don't allow lust to have dominion over us, but we have dominion over our flesh, dominion over our bodies, dominion over our minds. our thoughts, our actions. We will radiate purity. We will walk in purity. We are sanctified. We are holy. As we walk the path that God wants us to be on, the path of holiness and righteousness. And that entails fleeing from all sexual immorality and sexual lust, sexual perversion. Anything that's not of God, we must flee from it. And once we embrace walking in purity, God will be able to use us. God will be able to have his way in our hearts, in our minds, to use us for his glory. So we must become as little children, to embrace purity, to walk in purity. Because that's the only way we can actually achieve true peace in our lives. Because it's the way God wants us to walk. He wants us to be as little children in order to enter the kingdom of heaven, which entails being humble like a child, having pure thoughts, pure feelings, and being innocent as well. Innocent, blissful, as a child would be. When you're a child, you have no problems. You have no issues as a child. You can think about anything. You can do anything. You're not restricted by negative influences as you are as an adult. As children, we're carefree, just full of energy, full of vitality, full of limitless potential. And God wants us to embody that mindset of being like a child. Not being childish, that's different. But being like a child where we can be molded and to be used for his glory. So remember this. In all you do, in all you say, in all you think, strive to be pure, strive to be holy, strive to be sanctified, strive to become as purified as you can be. And to not have lust be at the door of your life anymore. But that door has to be closed. So be like children, like little children. So God can fully have his way in your life. I'm just rambling here. Because children are so sweet, so innocent, so carefree. And that's how God wants us to be, in order for him to utilize us in the way that he wants us to be, so we can be effective for him. Yeah, life as a child was amazing. You know, before discovering the websites and masturbation and wasting my seed. My mind was a lot clearer back then. But this journey has brought me back that same feeling as being like a child, and it's amazing. Oh, it's so amazing. Honestly, I can't talk about this enough. The state of bliss that you are in every day on this journey, it's no joke. No joke. Is my life perfect? No, not at all. I have good days and bad days, ups and downs. But there's an inner peace within me that I can't even explain, that comes from being pure and holding onto my energy, holding onto my seed. I'm not wasting it. It's absolute bliss. And I want that for you as well. But thank you so much for tuning into this video. Really hope it blesses you. And if you found this valuable, please make sure to stick around for more, where I'll be talking more about my experience and this journey of semen retention that I've been on. And I have various topics to talk about as well. So stay blessed, take care, peace.